What's up, everybody, and welcome to the last Black Side of Liberty for 2020. What's up? It's your man, Governor Wildstar, and I appreciate each and every one of you for being here with me for the 5th of November finale. It is the 5th of November. Remember, the 5th of November. If you haven't seen V for Vendetta yet, definitely check it out. Make sure that you watch that today. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like #1 on Netflix for all of those Anons out there and freedom lovers that want to get, I guess, some more encouragement, enthusiasm to get involved in this rebellion that we need to be instrumental in being a part of. I'm calling to arms and calling to action. All of you out there, all of you freedom lovers, liberty lovers, all of you ones that are all over the world and are celebrating Guy Fawkes Day or your Million Mask March, if there is actually one. I'm not sure if there is one, but we'll see what's happening. But definitely be sure to continue to stay in touch with me, of course, by subscribing to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you're watching out there on YouTube, be sure to hit that bell, hit subscribe, so you can stay in tune with everything that I'm doing, get notifications as to when I drop new videos, because I won't stop. Definitely got more up my sleeve, and you want to see what that is, be sure to subscribe or visit my website, governorwildstar.com, if you haven't already, so you can connect with me on social media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. My social media icons are right there on my website, governorwildstar.com. So be sure to check it out today and connect with me. If you follow me, I definitely won't lead you astray, and we'll keep you informed on what's going on right here on the streets in the underground. You know, since I'm one of those grassroots people, I won't ever be bought out. I won't ever sell out. I'm here for the fight for freedom, for the free. And since this Black Side of Liberty broadcast and me doing these live streams and podcasts do not pay, I've been doing this, taking time out of my regularly scheduled weeks to make sure that I can commit to doing at least 2 broadcasts a week and get these videos out there to you guys. But like I said, they definitely don't pay the bills. And if I want to make sure that I'm generating an income to provide for myself and my family, then I got to make sure that I'm making that a priority, opposed to, you know, this right here. I wish it definitely could have ended up being more of a revenue generator, I guess, since you got people out there getting paid off of podcasts, and, you know, YouTubers got millions of subscribers and viewers and whatever the case may be. I'm not one of them. So since I am one of those people that's still having to bust my ass at a 9-to-5 job, I got to focus on making sure that my family is well taken care of. Not to mention, I'm in the midst of a 3rd run for governor of California. If you haven't heard yet, like I said, visit my website, governorwildstar.com, to find out more about what I'm doing. Click on that 2022 tab so you can take a brief trip into the future and see what I got to offer, okay? I got some comments here. Yeshuan says, fine, that's reasonable. 1 a week. Hey, if I can muster it and make it happen, I definitely will. Like I said, it's just a matter of me committing and putting in the time and effort to actually make this happen. I commend all of you people out there that do actually have podcasts, do it on the daily, on the weekly, whatever the case may be, because shit, it is involved. And a bit more involved than, like I said, I'm able to do it this time since I have other efforts that I need to be putting my energy into. Like I said, I am running for governor of California. So right now I'm doing all the fundraising that I can to make sure I'm able to launch my campaign successfully and cover those initial costs to actually be on the ballot. But they're slow to come in. I've been asking y'all, go over to my website, governorwildstar.com, and donate. The donations have been slow to come in. So I got to hit the streets, pound the pavement, and talk to people face to face and see who actually is willing to put their money where their mouth is, because we definitely need to be taking action against what's going on with our government. Julius Gray says, why you guys making this kicking Trump's rump so long and hard? I believe you may be a foreigner, because if you know anything, what happens with the elections here in America, they're always long and drawn out unless there's a clear winner the first day, which there doesn't seem to be. So it's probably going to be another week or two, or maybe even a month before we end up finding out what's going on, especially since the elections have been shifted to more so being focused on mail-in ballots. Those ballots are still yet to be counted, and we've had tons of elections here in America where candidates have conceded early, ended up finding out after the hard count has been, done and performed successfully, that they won. So we'll wait. We'll see what happens with Trump either being removed from office or staying in there. Definitely. Jack B says, please support the Bob McIlvaine Act, I believe, for a new investigation of the destruction at 9/11. I'm sick of politicians doing what's safe instead of what's right. I thought Trump would blow this wide open. No, that's because Trump's a puppet. He's still one of those members of the oligarchy. He's an elitist. So he doesn't really care about us. He doesn't care about the average person. He doesn't care about the working class American. And those are always talking points. They always say small businesses are the bloodline of this nation, but yet don't want to do anything to help the small businesses. You see them bailing out multi-million-dollar corporations instead of the mom and pop shops. Trump is guilty of that. So all of you people out there to say Trump is a small business lover, no, he's a big business lover, and he's definitely giving our tax dollars, our money away to show exactly that, to help those businesses. So rebuke that statement and get that notion out your mind, definitely. Alienated says, Jesus is Lord. God bless you and your family, bro. Hey, God bless you. I truly appreciate it. And thank you for sending all of the blessings my way. Indeed, like I said, I definitely want to make sure my family is taken care of first and foremost, especially during this time of uncertainty. A lot of people are living on a short string right now, and I'm no exception to that rule. I'm not a rich man. I'm definitely well taken care of and blessed and highly favored, but I want to be wise and make sure that I'm also positioning myself to make sure that no matter what the fallout is in this country, that my family is taken care of. Like I'm sure most of you are making sure that that's your priority too, is making sure that you're in a safe place. And when it comes to us working together as a community, I think that's kind of where we've gotten astray and have gotten lost, is because we don't even know what that means anymore. Even with the anonymous movement, it's been hijacked, it's been taken over, it's broken down. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I got a lot to talk about this 5th of November. And I'm going to start first with here in America. Like I said, since we got to focus on home first and what's going on in our own country before we go around stomping in different territories all over the world, trying to tell them how they should be running their country, we need to be focusing on how we're running our own country here in America. So first things first, we're going to talk about you bootlickers out there. Yeah. And if you have any questions or comments or whatever while I'm running through my rant for however long I'm going to be talking, then please definitely drop them. But with that being said, I'm going to just give you guys a quick disclaimer. This is going to be for all of you chess players out there, okay? If you used to playing checkers, you want the dumbed down version of what we're going to be talking about or what I'm going to be talking about, then I can only help you so much. You need to step up your game. You need to educate yourself. Don't rely on me for this information. Go out there, research it yourself, okay? Because I can only do so much at a given time. So for all of you chess players out there that's up to speed on what's really going on, then I need for you to definitely make sure that you're keeping me up to speed as well, and make sure that we can tighten up this game. This won't be a short conversation, straight to the point. We're going to be dissecting things left and right as much as possible. But like I said, I will be speaking in terms that may go over some of your heads out there. And if you don't understand clearly what I'm saying, you're welcome to ask me. But if I don't explain, then that's why I'm giving you all of these jewels so you can go out there and mine them on your own time. There's some people out there that appreciate all of what I'm doing. They know exactly what I'm doing. These gems of knowledge that I'm providing to you guys will definitely be appreciated by those who do. But those of you who don't, like I said, it may just go over your head, in which case, like Yeshua in here is saying, the show must go on. Yes, indeed. But yeah, as far as you talking about Q lovers, we'll talk about that later. Yeshua. But like I said, this is no checkers conversation. This is all about chess. So I'm not going to be rushing on the clock here. We're just going to take our time and go through all of this pertinent information that I hope you guys will appreciate as much as I know you do. All right. So for the bootlickers out there, first of all, you live in America, okay? And I get asked by people, what is a bootlicker? That's someone who, let me bring this up for you. By definition, someone who seeks favor, goodwill in a servile, degraded way. Today he came across as a facile, I believe I'm saying that right, bootlicker, someone who would do anything like a lapdog to please somebody in the chain of command. This is what we become here in America. Lots of bootlickers, lots of people that are willing to become servile and degraded by authority, opposed to challenging authority. That's what we're supposed to be doing out here in America. Every American, you're supposed to have a rebellious spirit against the government. You're supposed to be the authority, not have the authority be the ones that are telling you how to do and live your lives. But yet that's exactly what we have here out in America. So all of you people out there that are feeling like you're being robbed and cheated by this government, hold them accountable. If you're being robbed and cheated by your law enforcement, hold them accountable. By these politicians, schools, medical professions, or whatever the hell you want to say, hold them accountable. That's what we got to do. And like Jack B says, they're basically kiss asses. We can't have any more kiss ass in here in America. I can't tell you how many times in my life I've heard this election is too important to be voting for a third party. Well, when is that not going to be your excuse? When are you going to stop voting for the lesser of two evils? Because you use that also as a scapegoat, a reason to not be strong and have a backbone and stand up against authoritarianism. But you see the development happening right here in our own country, in the United States. So we're becoming bootlickers here in the United States of America, opposed to being ones that fight off tyranny, that fight off authoritarians, that fight off tyrants. You know, we send our troops over to other countries to ward off tyrants, but yet we don't even do that here in our own backyard. So why do we allow it, you know? And the population is basically becoming a collection of statists. If you don't know what statist is, an advocate of a political system in which the state has substantial centralized control over social and economic affairs. So if you think that the government should be in charge of our education, you think government should be in charge of our health care, you think government should be in charge of if a woman has an abortion or not, or how many guns we have, or your taxes, or any of that case, you're a statist. If you believe that the government should be going around, you know, telling other people how to live their lives, you're a statist. And we got statists on the red and the blue team, on the right and the left. So just think about that. Think about how much of a statist you are. If you are supportive of the government being in control, especially centralizing any type of industry or any type of way that we should be living, whether it be our health care, our food, our money, your status. Because we live in America where we, the people, are the ones that should be in control. We should all be independent minded. We should all be acting independently instead of as a monolith. Everybody thinks that, oh, if you don't like it, you can leave, or this is the American way. Who says who? Who's the one dictating that? Are we, the populace, the ones dictating that? Are we the ones coming up with that idea? Or are we simply just going along with an idea that was put into our heads by someone else? We got to start fighting back and realizing where these ideas are coming from. Um, we, the people, are the authority. We're not supposed to be subjects of a monarchy, subjects of an oligarchy. And that's basically what our government has become here. We don't have kings and queens in America, but yet we act like we need to be subservient to the state. Your status, if you believe that. What's up, Hard Body? He says, what's up? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you for being here, man. We're going to go through a whole lot here today. So I hope you are in tune, and we'll drop some comments and questions during the broadcast. I appreciate you for jumping in. And Jack B says, follow the trillions. Always. That's what I say. Follow the money. Follow the money. You know, if you haven't heard my music yet, please definitely check it out. A lot of people say, how can they help and learn more about what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. I do my best to teach you in another way through music. So please check out my music on SoundCloud, enter Cue Ball the Real, and you'll see the deal. Listen to my new album, Evolve or Die. Check that out when you get a chance to. But yeah, got my man Hard Body says, I appreciate you educating us anytime, man, doing every little bit that I can. Yeshua says, amen, follow the money. Yes, indeed. The money tells you all you need to do. It's the root of all evil, but you got to follow that money trail to get to the root so you can see who's the real villains here. All right, my man Q Howard Love says, Q Bizzle, what's up, H Love? Yeah, from Dang Bro Y out there in New Orleans. Y'all check out my brother Howard Love on YouTube. Also, lead singer of Dang Bro Y. It's a band. So yeah, check out that man because he is rocking it out there in New Orleans and keeping us full of flavor and knowledge and elevating these people out of this spiritual rut that we're in. And we need to do it definitely by picking up the microphone in any way, shape, and possible. You know, that's actually how I became an Anon myself. Believe it or not, I started to see people wearing this mask first from the Ron Paul movement, Ron Paul protesters and supporters back in early 2008. So that was my first introduction to the Guy Fawkes mask. And then I learned about Anonymous. So, and that's actually when I actually put my legs to work as an activist, going out there, being involved in those anonymous Occupy Wall Street or Occupy LA really protests. So, yeah, check out the movie V for Vendetta today. If you haven't already, please do. Yeshua says, the love of it is. Money is not. Currency is not. Love of either is. Yeah, exactly. I mean, money serves a purpose. It's a tool, just like anything else, a hammer or a car. It's a product that serves a purpose. Right now, the money that we have, it's being created out of thin air and given to us to keep us in debt and servitude. And this is chattel slavery. Look that up. I also spoke with my guest a while back about that, the Honorable Brother Crumb, on one of my breakaway specials. So check that out when you get a chance. We the People dropped a tree on me, tree of knowledge, I'm hoping. Yeah, indeed. So, yeah, we want to break away from the status mentality, start thinking independently, stop being servants to the state. Because like Yeshua is saying, it will get worse. We don't want things to get worse. We want to improve the conditions social conditions here in our country, financial conditions, every kind of condition that we're living in. Break off the conditioning. And even people's conditioning have been conditioned. So we got to stop the generational conditioning as well, so we can start thinking as a free people. And it is generational. So it's got to stop with us so we can start the next generation on a greater tip. Peter Schiff says inflation is the most expensive way to pay for government. Ain't that the truth? I like Peter Schiff. He's a cool cat. And he's definitely making sure that people know the truth about money in our country, monetary policy, how it affects us, our paycheck, whatever the case may be. You want to look into this stuff, because if we don't know where our money comes from, then what's the point of even using it or spending it? I mean, people assume that it's backed by gold, or it's backed by silver, or it's backed by something. It's backed by nothing except for the work that you put in to make it. I share this link to everyone on my Instagram. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Hard Body Training. And see, that's some shit that you can do for free. People ask me, how can you support me? Do shit like what my man Hard Body Training is doing. You know, share this video on your Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever platform that you're on. Please share it. There's people, major candidates out there running for office that spend tens of thousands of dollars, you know, on making sure that they got 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to spend all that money into making sure that people hear this message. I need you to do it for me. I would like to do it organically and just have people gravitate towards this information and share it willingly, wholeheartedly. But as I said, major candidates out there running for office, hint, hint, wink, wink, are spending lots of money in making sure that they look the part, when truly they are not genuine at all in their messaging nor their character. Especially if we allow them to give us reparations in dollars, it will be followed by a dollar crash. Tell me about it, Yeshua. You're absolutely right. A lot of people think, hey, if we get reparations, that's going to solve this issue. I want, you know, to get paid for the suffrage I've endured throughout my whole life. Well, number one, are you a descendant of slave? You may have, you know, track your ancestry and end up finding out you had ancestors that came here willingly in the early, you know, 1900s or something like that. And they probably weren't slaves. So if that be the case, should you still be getting reparations? Not to mention that if you are a descendant of slave and you're also a working class person, which most of you are, that money is going to come out of your paycheck. Why would you continue to pay into a program where you're being taxed for it? You're getting your own money back. And that's only going to inflate the dollar even more. If they hit print up more money to give people for free, and then while you're working, tax you more to actually pay back that debt, then what's the point? You're making yourself broke. I shared on Facebook for you, but my friends are mostly East Coast. Don't matter, man. This is a worldwide effort. It don't matter if you live in California or you don't. It don't matter if you live in America or you don't. We need to be all on the same page, especially when it comes to getting rid of our authoritarian government, because it is a one world government. It's developing very quickly by way of the UN, or even more so by way of the dollar. You got two banks throughout the world. You got the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and the Federal Reserve. And the IMF is Bank of England, Barclays, whatever other European bank or whatever the case may be. It's a Rothschild banking system, and it is implemented in whatever central government to create that central monetary system. That's what we have here in America. We got the Federal Reserve. Instead of us having more money and different currencies, etc., we're being told that we're only able to use the Federal Reserve note, that piece of paper in your pocket you call money, that if you look at it, said is used for debt and debt purposes only. Has nothing to do with wealth. Crystal Wildstar says, hi, hey, baby doll. Thank you for jumping in and checking me out for a moment. Just school these people right quick as much as I can, and then I'm going to get back to my wife, Crystal Wildstar, and my son, Chancellor. And Hardbody says he's in New York. Yes, share this message with those New Yorkers out there. Check out Larry Sharp with the E. Sharp with an E. So Larry Sharp, he actually ran for governor of New York. I don't know if he's planning another run for governor, but the man is on point. He knows all of this information that I'm telling you and more. So find out from Larry Sharp. He does his own podcast called The Sharp Way. And he was actually one of my guests right here on the Black Side of Liberty. So check out Larry Sharp if you haven't already. He's one of my favorite libertarians and freedom fighters out there. And as I said, is very well knowledgeable about this level of corruption. So he's doing his best to inform people as much as possible, infiltrate this system of government so we can get it back into the people's hands. So New York hard body training, please spread the word about my man Larry Sharp, okay? Jack B from New England, but live in Washington now. All right. We got another East Coaster over there from New England now living in Washington. So, yeah, I mean, we need to keep spreading this word all over. I'll support him, says Hard Body Training. Thank you so much. And Jack B says he'll check him out as well. Appreciate it. Like I said, spread the word. Let Brother Sharp know I'm giving him a shout out, of course. Hopefully he can share my videos as well and get that message spread out and about. But yeah, moving along, next thing I want to talk about is our nation, A Nation Reborn. If you haven't heard of the movie A Birth of a Nation, it is one of the oldest propaganda films in America. And it's basically a movie talking about the Ku Klux Klan. Check it out. A Birth of a Nation. It was one of the first movies. It is the first movie that was shown in the White House. Okay. And these movies like Reefer Madness, Birth of a Nation, they all were to perpetuate a stereotype about Black and brown people, about people that were not European Americans, to say that we were the big threat and to white nationalism and the white identity. So how far along have we come from that idea? We see right now in 2020 the growth of so many white nationalist groups, so many prejudice groups that that pretty much is redefining the identity of the white person here in America and masking it as patriotism. So we see that that rise of white supremacy being developed in so many different ways. And it's happening right now, right under our noses. A lot of people don't want to pay attention to it. They've been ignorant for so long. And that's where the systemic racism part of it comes into play, because it's always been in existence, but now we've gotten to the point where we've paid it a blind eye for so long, and now we're wondering, why is this happening? This is your country. You let it happen. And you're continuing to allow it to happen by turning a blind eye. We can't be blind about it anymore. Out of the ashes comes the phoenix, indeed. Now, this phoenix right here about white supremacy, I don't know. I think it's time to kill that damn thing off, because it's harming so many people. Not only white people, but of course, Black, brown people, Asian people, doesn't matter. You're getting harmed by white supremacy, and it's engulfing us all in its terrible presence here in America. We're letting that nation of white nationalism and white supremacy take place once again here in our country. When will we rise up and do something about it? Hard Body Training says, what's your position on in fact not fucking around crew? I think they're a bunch of talkers, not doing anything. You know, I look into different organizations before I get involved. I want to find out who's the organizers. I want to find out who are the founders. I want to find out who's in charge before I throw my support behind it. And of course, I'm gonna watch what you're doing before I get involved. And all I've seen them do is a whole bunch of displays of them walking around with guns. Are they putting the guns to use? No. Do you see them actually going out to some of these protests, major protests, like with what happened in Wisconsin, like with what's going on in Portland? No, you know? So you can make a display all day long. You ain't scaring nobody. You ain't intimidating nobody. And the government obviously don't give a damn. Do you see them out in Washington, D.C. right now where there's protesters? No. Why? They need to definitely be doing something more, especially if they claim to be ones that are going to stand up to defend our freedom and liberty and keep Black people from getting shot and killed by police officers. We don't need to be reactionary. We need to be proactive, not reactive, proactive. Start doing something first. Any dude hiding his face is not credible. You're right about that, Greg Chamberlain. Check out our president. He's definitely hiding behind that mask that he's wearing. And I don't know who the fuck you are, but if you watched the video or any of my damn videos on Black Side of Liberty, I talk about how this mask that I'm wearing is in protest of mask mandates. So get the fuck out of here with your bullshit. All right? You're the one who's not credible at all. And I will be happy to tell your ass so. And we got a lot of haters out there, a lot of people that just throw out ignorance. I think that's another thing that we've become accustomed to here in America is just talking shit for no damn reason. You got people that are completely ignorant that love just opening their mouths. And we, as a society, have become more welcoming to those people that are willing to just talk shit and say things that are controversial and hateful. That's more entertaining to us and exciteful than somebody actually trying to provide us with knowledge and are doing it because they care about us or love us. We don't even believe in that anymore. So then we got, bitch ass niggas like Greg Chamberlain who come on and say shit like people not wearing or somebody hiding their face is credible. Check out the movie V for Vendetta. It tells you, any man that's wearing a mask, of course, is going to be telling you everything that he has to say because he ain't got nothing to hide. All right. And I definitely see that with the current president. He ain't got nothing to hide behind his mask that he's wearing. He's definitely been an advocate of white nationalism. People want to say he's denounced it. I haven't seen any denouncing of it. Every time that he spoke about it, he's pretty much came back with another statement that contradicted it. So which one is it? Are you going to, denounce white supremacy and do everything in your power to eradicate it and make sure that it's removed as a threat here in our country? Or are you going to shift the blame onto somebody else like Antifa, which is not an organization, number one. It's an idea, like Anonymous is an idea. So you can't shift all of the blame on an idea. And that idea, Antifa, is anti-fascist. So if you are anti-Antifa, that means you're a fascist. That means you're okay with being a statist bootlicker. You're probably one of the most that is okay with it. So those people out there that are anti-Antifa, please educate them on them being supporters of fascism and the development of more American exceptionalism here in our country. He don't always wear a mask, LOL, just that label to discredit you. I know. Thank you, Jack B. Appreciate the support. And Hard Body Training says, you're a troll. There's trolls everywhere, man. We got to do our best to fend them off together. I appreciate you guys for having my back, definitely. He just wanted to see your handsome face. I know, right? And if you do want to see my handsome face, head on over to my website, governorwildstar.com. I do have pictures, photos, all that good stuff. You can see more of me and how I look without my mask, or check out any of my other videos where I don't wear a mask, Greg, because I don't wear a mask on every video. I'm just wearing it here on my Black Side of Liberty video. Helps me develop this personality and character that I wanted to develop to help spread this message, but also to show some unity for all of those people out there that are rebellious against our tyrannical government, and actually know the symbology of the mask and the flag and everything else that I'm doing. That's probably too much for you to understand. That's what the cops do when they roll in on protesters, mask and full bodysuits. Exactly. So if anybody is not credible, I would say those officers that are running up during these protests, covering their face, covering their badge. Okay. They even got it now where they're wearing badge coverings, and it's completely acceptable. So we have a secret army on our streets. This is the standing army that our nation's forefathers and our nation's founders have warned us about. That standing army here in America that make us all servants of their authority, when we're not realizing we are the authority. You're supposed to work for me. That's the way this is supposed to work. So with that said, we'll move on to the next thing. Who do you serve? When I went out to these protests, anonymous protests, whatever the case may be, police brutality protests, we would chant, "Who do you serve? Who do you serve?" And I don't even think most of them knew who they were serving. They knew they didn't serve them, but they didn't know who they were serving. The police officers, law enforcement, or the Federal Reserve, or whatever the case may be. They don't serve us, that's for sure. And they are serving the oligarchy. That's who they do serve. We have a de facto government here in the United States of America. One that is not being held accountable, number one. One that is not responsible to we the people. So how can we ask them who do they serve when it's clear as hell, should be clear as day, that they don't serve you? And if that be the case, they again are the biggest threat to you and your freedoms, because they have no allegiance to you. Even though they pledge allegiance to the flag, they have no allegiance to the Constitution. They have no oath of office because it's empty. If you can swear to uphold the United States Constitution, yet don't do anything in your power to make sure that it's being protected and respected, you're using unconstitutional laws. Every gun law is unconstitutional. Why? Look at the Constitution and what it says about your right to bear arms. It doesn't say which type of gun you can have. And people want to bring up the time period. Time period didn't matter. They had Gatling guns and all sorts of, they had cannons, okay? All sorts of weaponry that could cause a lot of damage, okay? So the time does not matter. The message matters more. And if you have the God-given right to bear arms, then that's that with that. It's a period right there. It doesn't, again, dictate as to how you can carry it, if it should be open carry, if you need to be registering it or not. Look up the word register, find out it means regis for king. So you're pretty much putting your property on file with the king's log or information. Yeah, stop registering your property. There was never a reason for it. But yet again, you got these police officers. They don't serve you. They serve the oligarchy. They serve the state. They serve the machine. Because if they actually did uphold their oath, then they would recognize your natural right to protect yourself and bear arms. But they don't. They enforce unconstitutional laws all of the time. When do we finally say enough is enough? Jack B says, I respect auditors so much. We need them to hold people accountable. Had I been in that courtroom with you, you would have had one witness at least. Hey, I appreciate you, man. A lot of people don't know about my YouTube channel, about me being a First Amendment auditor and actually doing my best to hold these public servants accountable, even the justice officers, judicial officers, our judges, our prosecutors. We need to know what's happening in the courtroom. A lot of people are afraid to do their audits of courtrooms because if you go into a courtroom, they'll slap on the door, not to have your cell phone on. Well, no. Number one, I'm not a kid. Number two, that's not the law. There is no law that says you cannot use your cell phone in the courtroom. It's a rule that they're making up. It's arbitrary. And if they're doing so, they're dictating what the law should be, which is unconstitutional, because they're swearing to uphold the United States Constitution, yet breaking that oath. So they have no oath of office, they have no allegiance, and they are again working and operating as a de facto government because they're operating under the guise of law, the color of law, even though they themselves don't abide by the law. Have you heard the figure of speech, rules for thee, but not for me? That's exactly what our government does. They impose rules upon you that they themselves don't even respect, or they keep them accountable at all. But yet they enforce those laws upon you. Why do we allow it? Nation of status, as I said before. Status are us. Bootlickers are us. Here in the U.S., we got to stop it. And then we let these people get off with the excuse, well, they're just doing their job. Yeah, that's exactly what the Nazis said, the Gestapo. They're just doing their job, right? When do we stop? When do we realize what's going on with our own damn government enough to stand up and do something about it? Yeshua says, amen. Yes, they do. Same thing with healthcare. Absolutely. I mean, they're using the guise of healthcare to supposedly help people, but yet they don't uphold their Hippocratic oath. If they did, they wouldn't give a damn about you having health insurance or not. They would just focus on helping people. It wouldn't be about them maximizing their money or, making it a profitable industry. That's where their focus is as medical professions. They're drug pushers through big pharma and getting kickbacks, for selling off drugs and having people take vaccines that have yet to be tested. They're making money off of you. It shouldn't be a profit-making business to help people. We are slaves to oligarchs. Absolutely. The oligarchy here in America definitely needs to be removed from power. And that's why that's why I say we got to overthrow our government. I'm attempting to do it by actually running for office my damn self. What are you doing to overthrow government? Are you becoming a law enforcement officer to actually arrest those bad apple cops? Are you becoming an attorney so you can actually argue constitutional law in these courtrooms and get some real justice? What are you doing? So all of these people out there saying, I don't vote, I don't get involved in politics, but yet you still living under the regime. You're still living under their authority. What are you doing to change things? I would really like to know. They make sure they have amazing plans, says Yeshua. Amen. They serve money. Tell me about it, man. they do serve that almighty dollar. Like I said, they're just doing their job. They want to make sure they get a paycheck and are well provided for and go home to their families just like everybody else, so they could give a damn about the law and what really is and what truthfully is and what should rightfully be so. Yeshua says, I am more submersive. Good to know. We definitely need that. Yeshua says, I'm also a felon, so I'm forced to operate outside the system. We should all be operating outside of the system. Doesn't matter if you're a felon or not. We're crimes or criminals in their eyes, you know. So we definitely need to step up to the plate to start saying, no, you're the criminal, holding our elected officials accountable. And Jack B says same. All right, so we got people that have been victims of the criminal justice system being told, like Jack and Yeshua, that they're felons. What about the felonies that these police officers are doing, or these politicians, or prosecutors, or judges? I'm going to be doing a video soon because I got a court case on Tuesday that I've been fighting for over almost 2 years now, about me videotaping in court. So I'm going to be doing a video soon breaking down the details of that court case and what I'm actually dealing with. That way you guys can see. This is corruption at the highest level. This is a criminal-minded organization, very highly organized, very powerful, very diabolical in its being, and it pretty much is the ruling authority over we the people. So the ruling class is now this mob, this criminal syndicate that we've allowed to be in power. So they don't serve us at all. They serve each other. They serve the dollar, like Yeshua said. They don't give a damn about we the people. Yeshua says, well, they helped me out the door. They could have had a cracker and maybe in me, maybe LOL. Yeshua also says, if I had been in possession of enough currency for a good lawyer, I wouldn't have had any felonies. You're right about that. And it's sad that you even have to pay an attorney, really, to play along with their system. That's really what your attorney does, is by abiding by that oath to the Bar Association, not you. Any attorney that's allowed to practice law in the courtroom has to be a bar approved attorney. So that oath does not include upholding the United States Constitution. It involves them making sure that they're playing by the same rules that's given to them and that they're told is the law, which it is not. Hard Body Training says, I had virtual court October 14th, and the magistrate asked me, do I have in the other person? What's that? In the room witnesses if I were recording family court. Wait a minute, this is virtual court and he's asking you if you recorded? See how stupid that shit is? I mean, damn, you can be at home recording all you want. You're not in the courtroom. You should be able to record that. And they'll hold it up against you and say it's a crime. And thankfully, I'm not sure what the proposition was, but it got shot down here recently in the state of California, where they were trying to redefine certain offenses, misdemeanors, and reclassify them as felonies. So thankfully, the people of California voted against that because we have enough felonies, or rules and laws that if we are found guilty of, makes us a crime, makes us a criminal when there was no crime committed. And it's sad that we allowed this to happen, this development, and don't really take the initiative to do anything about it. We got to start fighting back right now. I was the only one sworn in and the state lawyer wasn't. I got adjourned till November 17th. When he asked me, are you recording? I'm going to answer, I'm not answering that question. Yeah, you can do that. Definitely, and see where it leads you. I've done that before, and next thing you know, I'm getting thrown out of the courtroom. So since it is virtual now and they're doing everything over Zoom meetings or whatever the case may be, they might just click off a camera or some shit like that and in the case that way. But who knows what they're doing now? Like I said, it's a very well organized criminal industry. So the only way that we can really fight it is by making sure that we're getting people in at the executive level, like mayors, like governors, to actually fight against the judicial system on that level, or put it into our hands, we the people on the ground, to say enough is enough, and we're going to take up arms to fight it and remove it personally. Yeshua says you should be able to record in public hearing ever. Absolutely. It is a public hearing. And since there aren't any court recorders present in courtrooms anymore, especially in the state of California due to budget cuts, then you should definitely be allowed to preserve the integrity of the courtroom. And that's what the Sixth Amendment is for, is to make sure that you do have that in place. The courtroom is supposed to be a place where justice is served. How rarely do we actually see that happen? So when do we put our foot down to say enough is enough? Right? So moving along, because I got two more topics I want to talk to you guys about. I also have throwing in the towel, because a lot of activists get burnt out, get tired, feel like, hey, how long can we keep doing this? I've even had moments where I'm just like, I've had enough with this. I've even let you guys know, this is my last and final run for office. After this, fuck this shit. I've put in over a decade into running for office, and that all of that time and energy that I've focused on attempting to represent we the people, I could have been spending on, investing into myself or my family. My wife and I, we just had our first child. We would like to have more. And I'm not going to be able to do that with focusing on making sure that I'm out here campaigning and spending tens of thousands of dollars of my own money, which I have, to fight against this. I've been arrested for fitting the description while Black, walking down the street, and have to fight those charges and then going back and sue the people. I've been successful at doing so, sued the city of Fullerton for abusing me as an individual and my natural rights as a human being to travel freely, and thankfully was rewarded for that. And now, as I said, I have another court case. And so they're just trying to do the best that they can to label me a criminal and find different ways to incarcerate me. That's another reality that Black men face in this country, is you can't even just exist without being deemed a criminal for whatever reason that they can create, even if it's just you resisting arrest when you shouldn't be getting arrested in the first place. How the fuck does that pan out? It doesn't. And people will defend that because they get you in the courtroom with the jury of your peers, and because they're brainwashed into statism and believing that you should just obey the law, you get thrown in jail for something that you should not have been getting arrested for in the first place. This is the reality, and it's very threatening. It seems like a joke to all of y'all. I know you watch my videos with me getting pulled over by the police and say, I don't have to show you any ID, and you just think I'm being crazy. No, that's what the law is. You do not have to show your ID without any articulable suspicion, any reason at all. The cop pulls you over for a taillight and then says, I smell weed in the car. They've just switched up the reason why you are being detained. So in the court of law, you can argue that, but you have to pay a seasoned attorney to actually do that for you if they choose to, because they may tell you that's a lost cause, it's an uphill battle, it ain't worth their time, and if it is, it's going to be to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars. Do you have that money to spend on making sure that your civil rights are actually defended? Attorneys don't give a fuck about civil rights. You know why you got that nigga Benjamin Crumb? Ben Crumb. Look him up. Benjamin Crumb. He's the most crooked fucking attorney in this entire nation. He is disgusting. You want me to tell you why? Because every time a Black person gets shot, he's right there on the scene. And he's now the family attorney that's going to sue to make sure that they get compensated for their loss. Well, that all sounds great, but he's taking a big chunk out of that because he's a fucking attorney. And his percentage is probably 30 to 40% of whatever is awarded to the family. Has nothing to do with justice, has everything to do with money. You people aren't paying attention to the right damn things. I'm telling you. Because if you did, we wouldn't have this fucked up system that we do. It wouldn't be so ass backwards. Or it's either that, or you don't really have the mustard in you to actually do something about it. Hard body training, please check out my website, Wildstar2022.com. Like I said, man, I'm running for governor of California. That's the only way that I'm going to be able to win this. And of course, fix this system out here in California and hopefully jumpstart that revolution nationwide. Good luck on my case. I appreciate it. I'll be definitely keeping you in tune. So like I said, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe on my YouTube channel. I'll be dropping more videos about my upcoming court cases since I got to deal with that bullshit. And you'll find out more about that and maybe some Black Side of Liberty specials in the future. Who knows? I may do one for Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's or some shit. But as I said, I won't be doing any more on the weekly. You know, I got to sit down. I got to come up with questions for my guests. I got to contact my guests. You know, speaking of which, I got a list here of tons of guests, people that I've contacted that have refused to be on the Black Side of Liberty. Shit. List goes on and on. I invited on Justin Amish, Azadeh Weber, Adam Carbone. I did an episode with him, as well as Michael Madrid and Brianna Cole and Mugabe John Socrates. All of these people, wonderful guests here on the Black Side of Liberty. Please be sure to check it out. Carrie Ann Harlos, Secretary for the Libertarian Party. I invited on Brandon Officer Tatum. He refused. Des Bryant, the local activist here in Fresno for homelessness. Haven't heard from her. Jess Mears, Libertarian. Avens O'Brien, Libertarian. Bob Carwin, Libertarian. Ricky Estrada, he was on my show. Kate O'Brien, she was on my show. Fina Benoan, she was on my show. Michelle Tippins, didn't hear back. Erica Kolanich, Rick Stewart, had him on. Great chat with Rick. Hope with Hunt, I forgot his name, but he wasn't on here. Richie Castaldo, Moses West Foundation was here. Lauren McKinnon, the Mad Status, Errol Weber, a Republican running for Congress out here in California. He just lost his election. I was trying to get him on the show, hopefully beforehand, so he can be heard by more people. Didn't hear back. Kim Ruff, Libertarian candidate for president. That's who she was. Yeah. President Body, had him on the show. Write-in candidate for president of the United States, Ricky Harrington Jr. The list goes on. Tons of people. So I send out invitations to all of these people on the weekly. You know, I send out 10, 20 invitations. I may get one or two to respond. And then, like I said, I got to coordinate with them because they got their own schedule. I had on the Libertarian candidate for president of the United States, Jo Jorgensen, and her running mate, Spike Cohen. And I had to coordinate with them because they're on, you know, touring around the country, meeting and greeting people. So thank you to both of them, the Libertarian Party ticket, for coming on to the Black Side of Liberty and gracing my show with your presence. Because like I said, I'm doing my best to just provide a platform that's neutral, not on the right, not on the left, where y'all actually going to get some truth. I invited on Republican candidates. I've had on Joe Collins, who ran against Maxine Waters, right here on the Black Side of Liberty. I was talking to him. All sorts of people. MAGA Hawk, I invited him on. Wasn't able to coordinate and schedule with him. Maybe I'll get lucky in the future. Maybe I won't. But like I said, I've done everything that I can to make this show one that is viable, one that is providing a neutral type of approach and response to what's going on in our community with issues, and give everyone an opportunity to be heard by a larger audience. But there are only so many people that see that as being valuable, especially when you don't have millions of viewers, like Hard Body was training was saying. Because if I did have millions of viewers, then I'm pretty sure they'd be more than inclined to be here, without a doubt. I've invited on a lot of conservatives or claim to be conservatives. Really, they're neocons. A lot of these people are neocons on the right and the left. Neoconservatives. Look up that word. But back to the topic at hand, throwing in the towel. As I said earlier, Anonymous is dead. Look at what's going on now in our country. Do you see Anonymous actually being involved and active? I mean, especially for you people that know about 4chan and the Church of Scientology protests, just all of the ops and all of that shit. Look at what's going on now with Anonymous. It pretty much got taken over by the QAnons, which are fascists and perpetuators of a singularity, I would say, because they're trying to make it seem like with this "where we go one, we go all" message, that if you aren't on board with the QAnons, you ain't a real Anon. And that's not really what Anonymous was all about, at least from what I learned. Who is Anonymous? We are Anonymous. You are Anonymous. You make Anonymous. Anonymous doesn't have a leader because you're the leader. It's a hive mentality. We come together like a hive of bees, and they go out there and they're productive, or ants, they work together to build some shit and make it happen. But everyone is independent, has their own task, has their own role, has their own identity. So when it comes to us being Anons and us having to be monolithic in our thinking, like the QAnons stress pretty much, if you don't believe all of what they claim, then you're not a real Anon. And that's not cool with me. If you win the governor's seat in California, I will move to your state ASAP. Wonderful. We definitely need more freedom fighters like you out here. And if I do win that governor's seat, I'm pretty sure California is going to be one of the most attractive states in the union, because we're going to make the rest of the country look shameless, shameful with what they're doing to the people. I want to make sure that every person in the state of California is wealthy, not rich, wealthy. There's a big difference. If you own land, if you own resources, you're wealthy. Okay, you can own 15 acres. You can own, a lake and hundreds of gallons of water and oil and fruits and vegetables, whatever the case may be. That makes you wealthy, not you working for the almighty dollar, slaving away and paying into a system that does nothing to invest back into you. That's what we're going to do right here in California, and that's what I will do, is make sure every person in the state of California is independently wealthy beyond belief. Yes, you, in a voluntary collective of independence, a team. Exactly. We got to work together. Row, row, row your boat, And if you ever watch a boating competition, they're moving in synchronicity, to make sure that they are beating the competition. We got to work together right now. And right now, the Anonymous boat is dead in the water. You don't really see too many people stepping up to the plate to even get the boat going. I mean, I do my best. I've actually worked with a few other Anons out here in Fresno to coordinate protests. Why isn't there a million mask march this year? It's 2020. We're being forced to wear masks. That's a beautiful thing right there. That's a beautiful setup. But yet there is no million mask march. I haven't come across any coordinated one. And that's actually where I guess we would be able to unify and go out and make a statement and protest against this tyrannical government together, is to say, hey, let's go out there all with our masks and say, enough is enough. We are in control of you, government. You are not in control of us. But the subservience is kicked in, the fear is kicked in, and we have become subjected to authority, so much so that we're not fighting back at all. That is working against yourself, DBA instead. Not really sure what you mean by that. We cannot allow the system to stand. I'm with you on that, definitely. We definitely need to take out its legs and remove the foundation that it's been standing on, which is the backs of we the people. Stop propping them up and giving them something to stand on, something firm. So being an activist, that's I'm just looking at my topics here, list of topics. So being an activist, it's a lot of high risk, no reward, especially when you're running for office like me. I get told by people all the time, oh, the machine isn't going to like you, and they're going to try to take you out and all types of shit. They're the ones putting threats on my life more than the damn machine itself, out of fucking fear. So, but I believe in the higher power. I believe in me being protected by that higher power and not living in fear or going out there and acting in fear, which is why I continue to fight against the machine and the system the way that I do. I'm not afraid to. I do it fully and wholeheartedly and very mindfully to know what's going on. But it's a lot of people out there that feel like, hey, why keep doing this if I'm not getting anything in return? And we're all like that as individuals. We want to make sure that all of the good work that we're putting in is actually beneficial and serving a purpose, or else what's the point, right? Yeshua says, march on in your armor. Definitely. I'm going to keep marching in the name of God and love and everything that is holy, because I feel as if this is my life path, and I'm going to keep doing what I need to do until I get burnt out like everybody else and want to throw in the towel. The propaganda machine controls most perceptions. You're right about that. It's definitely a game out here where people are being conditioned and programmed into believing what somebody else wants them to think. The Ed Bernays book, Propaganda, pretty much breaks it down. You guys should check out that book too. Do my best to recommend some books here also, get you guys reading up on some great information. Being an employee doesn't work anymore. Tell me about it, Yeshua. It definitely does not work. You need to be self-employed. You need to have multiple streams of income. But how are you going to do that? Which is why I said I can't keep doing these Black Side of Liberty videos, because they're not a revenue generator for me. And right now, I need to make sure that I'm generating some revenue. And if I'm not out there becoming as popular as Joe Rogan and all these other podcasters, Charlemagne the God and shit like that, then what's the point for me? Got to focus on the matter at hand and the mission, the real mission, which is to make sure that I actually have an opportunity to get elected governor of California. Yeshua says, I'm rowing in my lane, not apart or opposed to a non, never watched to V. Never watched V is the movie. Know little about Guy. All right. Well, then today is the day. Yeshua, check out V for Vendetta. Enjoy the movie, okay? Which came out way before Anonymous. Hopefully it inspires you to possibly cop a Guy Fawkes mask and want to join this revolution. You know what I'm saying? This revolution. One that's stemming from the character of love. That's what we need to do. Love yourself, love for fellow man, love for mankind. Yeshua, and remember the armor has no back plate for a reason. I know, right? We need to make sure that we have somebody watching our back, watching our front, watching our sides. You got my six? You know what I'm saying? So if you are out there you want to make sure that you're fighting alongside a true rebel like me, make sure, like I said, you check out my website, governorwildstar.com. If you want to get involved in my 2022 campaign for California governor, go ahead and click on that 2022 tab on governorwildstar.com, and that will take you to my new website where you can find out more about how you can get involved, okay? Also, for you people out there that are considering throwing in the towel, you know, when you're fighting a good fight, I know it definitely is attractive. It's hard fighting a good fight. Like I said, all risk, no reward. But when the rewards do come in, they're definitely going to be extreme. And with what I'm attempting to do out here in California by becoming the next governor of California, that's a reward beyond belief. I'll make sure of that. It's going to be one that pays off forever and ever, and will have so many possibilities to attract all of those people out there that do want to get away from that system. It's going to be one that's beneficial for yourself and others. So let's make that investment into each other, because that's really what it takes. Kalish Murrow, a wonderful protester activist that I know out here in California. She lives in Hanford, and she just made her first run for office for city council in Hanford, and she won. Yeah. So the victories come, and when they do, even though they may be few and far between, when they come, they will be definitely extremely rewarding. And we just got to make sure that we're putting in the time and effort to make sure that it's well worth it. And of course, an investment that's going to be beneficial for everyone. So check out Kalish Murrow, new city council candidate, or new city council member of Hanford, definitely. Let's see. I got a few comments I got to check up on. Yeshua says, you have to stand back to back with the circle of friends sharing each other's sixes. As you grow, you have to be careful who you let pass your prefrontal into your trust circle. You're right about that. That's why I'm doing my best to attract as many committed freedom fighters out there that aren't tired, that still want to fight the good fight, because we got generations to fight for, not only our own generation, but the next generation, the past generation, the first generation. So we got a lot of work to do here, but we got to stand together, like Yeshua said. Hard body training, I want to praise you. I'll tell my immediate circle that if shit hits the fan, follow me. I'll be a team leader. If it ever comes down to revolt, revolution, I'll fall in line and follow you. Thank you. God bless you, man. I'm always going to be the governor, man, and I'm always here for you. So whether I'm running for office or not, I'm still going to be involved in fighting the good fight. Like I said, I'm more so just be focusing on making sure and investing that time and energy and knowledge into my son so he can pick up where I leave off. You know what I mean? I'd rather spend the next 10 years making sure that he's outfitted for that revolt versus, doing more of this shit, because if it continues to go at this rate, it's not worth it. But we definitely got to make it worth it, right, everybody? All right. Yeshua, and if you get stabbed in your back, it's your fault. Putting the human in the position of trust, right? On some Caesar shit, right? A two brute, fuck you. Yes, so I make sure that I surround myself with ride or die folks, people that are willing to make sure that they stand with me to the end. And I've been blessed enough by God Almighty to have those people put in my life, but they are sparse, because not too many people understand what we're out here fighting for. They think it's a lost cause. You got those people too that think it's a lost cause, it's not worth it. Or you got the people that are simply so conditioned into their way of thinking and believing and how the system exists that they don't want to do anything about it. They're just not encouraged. So it sucks, but we got to do something. Jack B, thank you. Back to you, my man. Get rid of Governor Nuisance. That's what I'm attempting to do, Eric Sharp. Shit. We got to get rid of gruesome Newsom, Governor Nuisance. He is an awful, awful governor. And that's only because he's using his position of power to be dictatorial. Just recently, he was actually found guilty of doing exactly that for mandating mail-in ballots for the state of California. A judge actually put their career on the line to say no to Newsom and his tyrannical authority. So hopefully that will stop any other mandates that he may come up with from here on out. But because he's using this whole COVID thing and emergency powers to, again, kind of use the rule of law to impose his will upon us, it's up to us to stand up and say enough is enough. Shouldn't just leave that on the backs of businesses. We got to come together as a community, as individuals, and say and do so. Yeshua says, test newcomers with trusted homies as you grow. Don't hire degree having types only. Bring the real. Oh, no. I mean, right now, it should show people more than ever that a degree, a piece of paper, it only can go so far. Shit. Look at these politicians that are in office right now that claim to have a degree in higher learning, whatever the case may be, poli-sci or whatever. Excuse me. They're not doing anything to actually make things better. So a piece of paper doesn't make you a qualified leader. It never does, never will. So we need to, again, start holding them accountable. William Amlong Bay, you say you are Christians, but it says render unto Caesar what is Caesar. Doesn't that include not voting? No more God, LOL. That to me, that's a statement that's meant to have you conditioned into supporting the state. I've heard that, the render unto Caesar what is Caesar, and that's more so talking about money, and as far as us continuing to support that system that exists, if it serves no purpose for us, why are we continuing to support it? I don't know what kind of Christian you are, but we definitely need to make sure that we're making sure that we're serving God, not people or politicians or whatever their will is. Gonna miss you having a show. Oh, thank you, Yeshua, and I appreciate it. Like I said, stay tuned. I'll definitely do my best to continue to drop more more specials in the future, and I will definitely be investing in Chance. My son's name is Chancellor. Thank you, Yeshua, for recognizing that. I appreciate it. And Eric Sharp says, yes, he is. Not sure what you meant by that. And I got an amen from Yeshua. But yeah, William Amlong Bay, I identify my spiritual beliefs for those people out there that feel like they need to recognize religion. I would say my beliefs more so in his alignment with Christianity, more so Christian Science. But I personally do not recognize or identify myself as a Christian. I don't want to hold on to any titles, especially when it comes to my spiritual being as a human being. Maybe it's easier for you to accept that or see me as a Christian if I let you know that. But I've evolved as a character spiritually and personally to where I feel like that label doesn't really serve me much purpose at all. Hard body training. Yes, I agree. I'm very concerned for our sons in this nation. We will be gone and they will have to live on their knees. Not on our watch, Governor. You damn Skippy. I'm not going to live on my knees, and I'm definitely not going to let this world stay in the place where it is, where it's going to make my son or any other future children that I have be subservient to its power, to its authority, to its rule, because rules are for fools. And if you're a person that needs to be told what to do and how to govern your own life, then you probably are okay with having a ruling authority. I'm not. I'm one of those individuals that are not. And I'm hoping that you're here with me talking and watching this video because you're not either. You don't want to be told what to do, how to do, and when to do it, and what to label yourself as or identify yourself as simply to just belong. We shouldn't be. We should be allowed to be free individuals as God intended. I'm a Yeshuan. I'm with Yeshua. Amen to that. Yeshua. We getting back to some root words here on the Black Side of Liberty. So thank you for saying that, Yeshuan. And I like that. That's actually pretty cool. Maybe I'll start calling that also. But like I said, I more so just like to look at myself as a spiritual being here enjoying this human experience. And, for those people that identify themselves as Christians, my belief as a human being has had Christian foundations and still does to some degree, but I don't let that be the limitation of who I am as a spiritual being. And hopefully neither will you, you know. But if that's where you want to stop, you're learning, then that's cool. I'm not going to damn you for it. So please don't damn me for mine. So last thing I want to talk about is, all right, hold on. One more comment from Yeshua and says, me too purchase. Amen. And yay. All right. Thank you very much, Yeshua, and I appreciate it. And check it out. Last thing I want to talk about, us as Americans being privileged. Okay. I've heard this before where people are like, oh, you should be privileged to live in America. Why? Why is living in America a privilege? Oh, those rights of yours, they wouldn't exist if you didn't live in America. No, that's not true. I could definitely be a rebel in another country and fight for those rights or laws or whatever the case may be. But if they're God-given rights and I'm here in America, I'm where I'm supposed to be, number one. And number two, reason why our ancestors fought for the rights and to secure the current rights that we have is because we shouldn't be privileged to live in such a way. We shouldn't be privileged to have food on our table, or to be able to own a gun, or to own land and raise a family. That's what the wars in the past were fought for, to secure our rights as human beings here in America. We're not recognizing our sovereignty as human beings here in America because we're being told that we're supposed to be subjects of the authority. So, of course, you're going to feel privileged to do whatever you do, drive a car, or go to work or praise God, however you choose. You're going to see that as being a privilege versus you, by God, having that natural right. That's how it should be. That's how we should start looking at living here in America. Your natural right is not a privilege. Your natural right to move from point A to point B is not a privilege. When the government converts your privileges or converts your natural rights into privileges, that's when your government is not a government anymore. They're a tyrant. They're a dictator. And that's what we're seeing more and more. Even when you go to the DMV, look at the bottom of the DMV form when you sign it. It says you are converting your right to travel into a privilege. So now, by way of the DMV giving you permission to drive on roads that you already paid for with your tax dollars, you're now a privileged person to be traveling on those roads and using your own vehicle that you bought for with your own hard-earned money. And now it's a privilege to drive that car since you got license plates given to you by the state saying, yeah, this has been registered. Look up that word, Regis, root word of register and registration. Check out the etymology there. But yeah, why should we be privileged to use our own property? Even having kids now. Having kids is a privilege. You want to know why? California Health and Safety Codes say you must register your child with the state. It is the law. So you having a kid has now been converted from a natural right. You naturally, by God's order, being able to have a child has now been converted to a privilege because of the government. Yeshua, we woke up in a nation with the highest incarceration rate of any, all while claiming to be the free one. Laughable if it were not so sad. Thankful for the reformers. Yeah, we definitely need more reforming of our current system. Hard body training or to drive in a vehicle. Exactly. It's not a privilege to be driving in a vehicle. That's your God-given right, no matter how you want to cut it up. Yeshua 13th changed the paperwork for the title to us, just like that birth certificate you tried to free Chancellor from. Tell me about it. The first 10 amendments of the United States Constitution, the Bill of Rights, really, actually are the first 10 and the first few that are only valid. After 10, the rest are null and void. They're arguable, depending on what state you're living in, what person you're speaking to that's conditioned into believing it. But I definitely believe there needs to be some reconstituting here in America. And were I elected governor of California, I will be reconstituting the state to recognize only those first original 10. Prop 17 passed. I contend it does not go far enough by a long ways. Not sure what Prop 17 was, but if that's the one about converting those misdemeanors into felonies, then I'm upset with that. To a national resource, too, a child is a resource. That is why they want paperwork on them. Yeah. That's why, because they're property. They want to make sure that they're documented, that they're on file, and they are not your property. They are the state's property. And that's why when you get arrested, you get state-issued jail clothes because you are now state property. And just by you wearing those clothes, they're claiming their property, and that's you. Amen. We must reconstitute the nation. You damn Skippy. I don't know if we'll get to that level, but we definitely are a nation state here in California and have the authority to reconstitute ourselves as a state. And that's exactly what I will be proposing and will do once I'm elected governor. Prop 17 gave felons more voting rights. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm all for that. They never should have been taken away in the first place. But hey, if we got to beg the state just to get back one right of ours at a time, then I guess we got to take what we can get, since that's how people think also is, slow progress is better than no progress. I don't believe that at all, but it's some people out there that feel like, hey, I'd rather get a little something than nothing. And that's basically begging your oppressor for some sort of relief. They're still your oppressor, but just because they let you off the plantation and go off and come back on your own free will, so to speak, then that doesn't make you free at all. Resolute TV in the house says, hey guys, what's up, Resolute TV? Check out Resolute TV right there on YouTube as well. We did an interview together all the way from Australia. So we got this, like I said, worldwide effort to get rid of the tyrannical system of government that we have taken control over our lives, because it is a globalist organization. They are working together. No matter where you are in the world, you're under this globalist new world order that they've been creating. Yeshua, and it did not go far enough. You're right. Prop 17 did not go far enough. We did it by ballot in 2014. Obama overrode us with this plan. Fuck Obama. LOL, at least it's progress. Hey, no progress. Because like I said, if you're still begging for your oppressor to give you a little bit of food or give you the food that you want, that's still reliance upon your oppressor for whatever the case may be. And you're not free to choose or think on your own. They just want to stay plugged into the matrix and be entertained. Tell me about it. The people that are privileged out there and still feel like we need to be asking for permission from the state to live, you are definitely enjoying this too much. So let's see. Yeah, majority rule by force. That's what it is basically, is people feeling like, hey, because I believe this, you should be forced to believe it also. And then using the threat of violence to make that come to fruition. That's basically what the government is. No matter what they disagree with you on or may agree with you on, they're using majority rule to exact violence upon you, the individual, to make sure that you comply or die. And that's where we have gotten to here in America, where instead of us acting independently, we're more so acting as if we must ask for the permission of the state simply just to live. How many of you are out there are wearing a mask because you're really afraid of the virus versus are wearing a mask because the government told you to? How many of you are going to stop wearing your mask because the government told you to versus you feeling like enough is enough, I'm not going to wear a damn mask anymore? Privilege, like I said, you're getting that conditioned into your mind so much so to where now you go out and you see kids. Mommy, I don't want to wear this mask. Well, just wear it because I told you to. Now you're passing that on. Now you're you're the police. And that's exactly what they want. A nation of subservient citizens to do as they are told. And if you rebuke that or protest that in any way, shape, or form, you are now a threat to that system. So, are you going to continue to live your life happily, being a subject of authority, or will you actually do what's uncomfortable? And that's fight against this system, because that's what I want to talk to you guys about. People being afraid to live responsibly. They want to be told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, because they're afraid that if they are allowed to go out there and think for themselves, that they're going to make the wrong decisions. And there's repercussions for the wrong decisions. That's life. If you aren't teaching that, if you weren't taught that, that I'm telling you right now, you got to deal with the consequences of your actions, no matter what they are. And if they're bad actions, they're going to have bad consequences. If you make good action, then hopefully it'll lead to good consequences. But that wouldn't be a consequence at all. Those would be good results. And that's what you want to see. You want to see good results. A whole lot of what's going on right now has all of the good intentions in the world, but has bad results. We can't continue settling on the bad results that we see. Start demanding more. Yeshua says the propositional has been replaced by the visual. Dark reality. Tell me about it. My gang is bigger than your gang. 51%, 49%. So we own you. Yeah, Resolute TV. I mean, let them know, man. We shouldn't be servants to our government. We own the majority, definitely. And actually, what they think they own is a lot less. We are the bigger gang, and we definitely got to start acting like it. But we got to unify first to combat this criminal organization. Because the part about that you should be recognizing the most is the organization part. They are organized. We are not. We're kind of just like freelancing here. So that's when we got to come together, come up with the game plan, realize that we have the same mission, no matter what your skin color is, no matter, what you have in your mind about sexuality or drugs or whatever the case may be. Stop using that moral meter to dictate others as to how they should be living their lives. Look at the bigger picture of what's going on here and unite under that. Yeshua says, I only wear one if someone in the store makes me or another human around me is wearing one. I will operate at the level of comfort my kin wants in the moment. I don't need to know their reason. You're right. I mean, yeah, if it's people that want to wear a mask because they're around other people and they want to be respectful of their choice, then that's cool. But that's what I was saying about you as an individual and majority versus majority rule. Are you wearing a mask because government told you to, or are you doing it because you are actually afraid of the virus and it'll kill you? Not having anything to do with somebody's level of comfort. And it's sad that even that is now taken into accordance. You got to wear a mask or else you're not being responsible for someone else. So now I'm selfish because I want to breathe without a mask as God intended. That's awful. Now we've made freedom a felon, pretty much. It's a felony to want to think free. I tell my son, if at any point during school you want to remove your mask, do it. Tell them my dad said I can. I got your back is what I tell them. Absolutely, especially since they're saying that kids are less susceptible to dying from coronavirus. They don't focus on the amount of people that actually have recovered from coronavirus. The focus is only on the people that have died from it, which is a fraction, a small fraction of our entire population. When we first had this lockdown here in California, Governor Newsom said, if we don't do this lockdown, tens of millions of people will die. Well, only a few thousand people have died here in the state of California, and the lockdown is still going on. What are we doing it for? It's not bending the curve at this point. Or flattening the curve. It's all about making sure that we are being obedient to the government and the state and what it says we should be doing. Freedom ain't free. Our ancestors were willing to give up everything to make sure that they were living free, and that included their lives. Americans aren't there yet. We've been so privileged in living the way that we live that we take all of that for granted. The people and the sacrifices that they've made to actually make sure that we can live freely. Yet we continue to send soldiers out all over the world to have them sacrifice their lives for our freedom. So we're willing to put that responsibility on other people's shoulders instead of on our own. Freedom ain't free. It's going to cost you something, even if it costs you getting out of your comfort zone. And as little as that may seem, that's the biggest thing for a lot of people. Oh, I can't. I just got to fit in with everybody else, or they're going to look at me different, or they're going to talk about me, and I'm going to be treated differently. So what? Who gives a damn? You're the only one who's bitching and complaining about it. And that's really because you're okay with living like a slave. And if that's okay with you, admit it. If it's not okay, do something about it. I'm not okay with it. So I'm going to say something. I'm going to do something. I'm going to kick and scream the entire damn time, because that's not the way I want to live. And that's not the way I know my creator doesn't want me to live. So I damn sure am going to do something about it. Hard body training. I got followed around in the local supermarket by 3 workers. I was actively drinking my morning coffee. What the fuck, they wilding out here? I don't wear a mask ever. I'm telling you. And look at that. They got people stalking each other, policing each other, being rude to each other. You get too close to somebody. Why are you too close? Move back. You need to be wearing a mask, even though you're outside. These are bullshit statements I've actually heard from people. That's how you know they are definitely the sheeple being led to slaughter here. I'm not down with that. We gonna be sheepdogs in this bitch, So if you a sheepdog and you out there trying to herd these sheeple, then stand with me. Stand firm. Know that it's going to cost you something. Hopefully it doesn't cost you the ultimate sacrifice, but you must be willing to take that into accord to know that that's really, truly what you're fighting for, your livelihood, your life, to make sure that you're able to grow and develop and prosper the way as our Creator intended. So if you're not really willing to make that ultimate sacrifice, then this ain't for you. And until we get there as a population, when really all Americans should be, let me become governor, I'm going to have a nation of soldiers here in the state of California, because every person in our state is going to know what we're fighting for is bigger than us. And we need to come together to stay united, to put everything on the line to make sure that it comes to fruition, because they're willing to kill us all off if that's what it takes. And they've shown that by ways of war, proxy war, and dropping, atomic bombs on countries, testing that. America is the only country that has ever used atomic bombs. So while they want to scare you that Iran is building one, or North Korea, or whoever the hell, doesn't matter. Who's the only one in history to have ever used it in such a way? America. That's the country that you're living in. Hardbody says, I'm the only parent that drops kids off and not pick them up. Oh, and pick them up without a mask. Yeah, I see people driving, man. It'll be a car full of people, and all of their asses got masks on. It's like 4 or 6 people in the car. All of them are wearing masks. You're in your own damn car, number one. So unless the coronavirus is in the car, what the fuck are you wearing a mask for? And then, I don't get it. And then these are also people that you're around all the time. So are you afraid that they contracted coronavirus or something like that, to where now you're wearing the mask to not catch it? I don't know. It's like the logic and common sense just goes out of the window for people. So that's why I encourage you all to think for yourselves. Please, you exercise some common sense. It is definitely taken for granted these days, but we got to start thinking independently and thinking for ourselves, instead of thinking what the government or the mainstream media, the news, the fake news, and the doctors and the scientists, or whatever the fuck, what they want us to think. Stop thinking what the globalists want you to think. Stop thinking what the money masters of the world want you to think. Start thinking for yourself, but it starts first with you actually acknowledging what's going on here. What is that? The 21-step program? Yeah, what is it? 12 steps? I don't know the name of it. But yeah, for the Alcohol Anonymous or whatever the case may be, they say first step is realizing that you have a problem. We have a problem here, so recognize it so you can start doing something about it. Sheeps and shepherd, you're a shepherd. Thank you. Amen. You're definitely a shepherd yourself, my man, leading out there in New York. Okay. Yeshua says 12. All right. Yeah, the 12 steps. I appreciate it. So Hard Body Training says we're still not allowed in the school building. I'm yet to personally meet my children's teachers, first and second graders. Wow, look at that. See? And that's the new normal that they want us to get used to as adults. I'm a grown ass man. I'm gonna teach my son what I want him to learn. And I'm not sending him off to any damn school where what's happening to Hard Body has to happen to me. He's sending his kids to school, don't even know who's educating his kids. How many parents out there are having to deal with this, like Hard Body, to where you're sending your kids off to school? It's their first time ever being in school, first grade, second grade, probably at a different school, kindergarten, or whatever the case may be, and haven't met the educator. Don't even know them because they're afraid to interact with you due to all of this. Something's got to change, man. But it takes us being brave to stand up and say something about it. So I applaud you, Hard Body, definitely for making that stand for your children and for yourself and for me, we the people, because we're all connected. What you do affects me too, Amen, says Yeshua. Thank you very much. And he also says, good for you. I guess that's to Hard Body Training. But if it's to me too, thank you. I appreciate it. Good for all of us here. But that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about here on this 5th of November finale is to basically say, remember what we're fighting for. You know, we do live in a free country. We do live in a country where we have our God-given rights are intact. But the Constitution is a living document. In order for those words to come to life or to fruition or have any meaning at all, it's up to us to stand up, step into those shoes, you know, do what it takes to make sure that those words are being brought to life and being, of course, protected and respected by those who take that oath to uphold it. You and I, you know, regular people, you know, the working class, we don't swear on the United States Constitution. We don't take that oath to uphold it. Public representatives do, public servants do, because they work for us. So we got to keep reminding them, you work for us. And like I said before, if they don't want to work for you, fire their asses. It's that simple. And that's what we're attempting to do out here with Governor Gavin Newsom is fire his ass, get him out of office. Larry Sharp, I'm going to follow him and support him. Yes, please do definitely hard body. Like I said, he is doing his best to lead the sheeple out there in New York and get them to avert disaster and do everything that he can to make sure that he's grooming people like me into positions of leadership. So please definitely connect with the man. Jack B says, shut the TV off. News is propaganda. Tell me about it. All of the news right now is propaganda. And Yeshua says, I intend to amend it. We definitely got to amend the Constitution. But like I said, were I elected governor of California, I would be reconstituting the state of California. So I want to give a shout out to all of the people that were on my show on the Black Side of Liberty. I got James Just, who unfortunately did not win his election for state assembly out there in District 7 in Sacramento, but appreciate him for being here on the Black Side of Liberty. Darren Miller, activist and BayPAC founder. I got my man Dan, Taxation and Theft Berman, presidential candidate, as well as Ken Armstrong, presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party. Have my man Joshua Flynn on here, Illinois State Representative, and my man Devontae Clark. Appreciate both of you brothers for being here on the Black Side of Liberty as well. Oscar Herrera, Sam Robb, my lady, Krista Wildstar. Yeah, she was here as well. Angela McCardle. Let's see. And if you guys haven't seen any of these episodes, definitely check them out on my channel and you would enjoy it hopefully as much as you have this one. Christopher Carlson, my man, my green man out there, former Green Party candidate for California governor. Chase Takash, adult film star. Khalees Morrow, like I said, she is now Hanford City Council member. She won her election and she did an episode with me on the Black Side of Liberty back in June. Be sure to check that out. Got my man TJ Shelton, who jumped in for my 4th of July episode, another special then. Myra Matika, candidate for office, had the Boogaloo briefing with the Rocket Man. Check that out. Kevin Shaw had him on. Nikki Giver had her on. G.I. Mary Jane. Chef Jason Mercado was here on the Black Side of Liberty. My former opponent for governor of California, Zoltan Isvan, was here. Transhumanist lecturer. Check that out. Spike Cohen and Joe Jorgensen, like I said, had both of them right here on the Black Side of Liberty. That was the Libertarian ticket for President of the United States. Also had on Max Abramson, former candidate for president on the Libertarian ticket. I also had, let's see, Ashley Shade here on the Black Side of Liberty, chairperson of the Outright Libertarians. Also had on Thomas Queter, candidate for office out there in New York, Alex Merced, former chair of the Libertarian Party, Alex Appleby, who else? Adam Carbone, had him here, right here on the Black Side of Liberty. I'm just going down the list. Like I said, I want to thank all of my guests that was here. I did a lot of damn episodes, y'all. If you haven't checked out any of these, please do. Mugabe John Socrates, who is a libertarian out in Uganda and the founder of ALID, Action for Liberty and Economic Development. Check out that. I had on Ricky Estrada, candidate for Menifee Mayor, Carrie Ann Harlos, secretary of the National Libertarian Party. Also had Moses West of the Moses West Foundation. Check that out definitely, because I'll be working with Moses if I'm elected governor to make sure that we never go dry out here in the state of California, with water, that is. Had the Black's Law Addiction with my man Drew Nelson, who is very well versed, paralegal, and had him here talking about law on the Black Side of Liberty. Also had President R19 Body, candidate for president, Rick Stewart. He was an Iowa Senate candidate. Fina Benowen, candidate for Hawaii District 20. Brianna Coyle, outreach director for Outright Libertarians. Kate O'Brien, who won her election, and she is now on the Rancho Simi Recreations and Parks Board. She won and is still a board member out there in Simi Valley. So let's see. Also had the Flower Power episode with Colonel Keith Taylor. Check that out definitely, because Keith is doing some big things out here in California, and hopefully once I'm elected governor of California, we'll be able to start building some cannabis farms out here in the state. Mackenzie Chang, former candidate for Fullerton City Council, had him on. Also had on Michael Madrid recently, candidate for New York Senate. Also had, New York Senate. Also had Dr. Shannon Kroner, had her on, founder of For Us, Freedom of Religion, United Solutions. And those are all of the people that I was able to get on my show. And as I said to you before, I sent out tens of, if not hundreds of invitations, and not everybody responded. So thank you to all of those people out there that were right here on the Black Side of Liberty and able to join in. I truly do appreciate it. I got a few comments I'm gonna roll through before I get out of here. My man Yeshuan says, I intend to amend it. Oh, I already said that. Amen. Replace Gavin Newsom, elect Nick. Yes, please elect me. Get rid of Gruesome Newsom. Sorry, James. He says, keep up the good fight. Nick for president. I don't know. We'll get there. First, let me see how this governor shit feel, and then if I'm able to serve you in the capacity that I think I will be, hopefully I'll get that honor to serve for you as president as well sometime in the future. Says I'll campaign with you. I need it. We definitely got to hit the streets and get the word out there to let people know more about me. No degree on you, VP. Promise me. Absolutely. You got it. He said that TJ Shelton guy is a jerk. Nah, I love him too much. But that's probably what TJ stands for, the jerk. He'll tell you that himself. But he's a jerk that you love to hate, or hate to love, or one or the other. Yeah, definitely. But yes, there is a ton of real world, down to earth, non-corporate sellout news on his previous episodes and this one as well. Thankful for you. Thank you very much, Yeshua, and I truly appreciate it. Yeah, we're definitely doing our thing and making sure that we bring independent journalism back to the forefront where it belongs, and have some truth speakers tell us honestly, for once, what's really going on without watering it down. And it's unfortunate that we rely on the mainstream media to actually provide that information to us, but we got to push them aside, start focusing on each other and what we can do to keep each other informed. All right. Who was your favorite guest ever? That I cannot answer honestly. All my guests I truly enjoyed for many different reasons, and I I just got to say, it's been an absolute honor to speak with every guest that I've had here, and I enjoyed it tremendously. So I'm thankful that I was given the opportunity to even, commit the time that I was able to towards putting these programs together. So please, as I said, share, share, share. Sharing is caring. I have over 6 million views on my YouTube channel. That's only because y'all people out there have been sharing my videos. So please continue to do so. Let's make some of these Black Side of Liberties episodes go viral, just as viral as my other videos when I was arrested and protesting and whatever the case may be. And Jack B says, haha, put him on the spot. No, can't do that. He says, excellent answer. Thank you so much. Yeah, I do my best to be as honest as possible. Like I said, I'm not going to lie to you guys. And if there's some truth that I may share with you that doesn't resonate with you, then maybe it wasn't for you. That's just how I feel. But Yeshua says he likes to put people on the spot. One of the reasons why I love him. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, because you got to be used to being put on the spot. I get caught off guard all the time running for office, but that's what you got to do. You got to, especially when you're a politician, you got to be prepared. Always be prepared. And as an individual, I just think that's an excellent rule of thumb. It's just be prepared for anything and everything, anytime. The more you're prepared, the better you're ready for anything to happen. All right. But thank you all for all of the comments, all of the love. I truly do appreciate it, and all of you for tuning in. As I said, I am running for governor of California, so definitely please be sure to check me out right here, my new website, Wildstar2022.com. That's Wildstar2022.com. Head on over to my website today. One of the first things that'll pop up will be a pledge card. So if you want to get involved with my campaign, just be sure to complete that. Or you can click on right here where it says join and find out more about why you should definitely join. But of course, here's that pledge card for you to complete. Let me know how you like to get involved with the campaign if you want to join my campaign staff and team Wildstar, okay? And of course, got the donate button here. So if you click on donate, you'll be able to make a contribution. Every contribution counts, no matter how little or how much. And like I said, it helps me make sure that I'm able to launch my campaign successfully and cover those filing fees and all of that other shit. And like I said, help me grow my audience. I don't want to have to paid play and would like for my numbers to grow organically. So click on any of these social media icons. If you haven't already, connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is right here for you to do so. So definitely do so now. But please check out my website, Wildstar2022.com, and make a contribution today if you can, okay? Definitely would appreciate it tremendously. And also, please definitely get involved in the recall efforts. Recall Gavin Newsom right now. Like my man Yeshua says, bet on Nick. Definitely bet on me. Your money will be well spent. And we going to double and triple that bet if I get an opportunity to win, as I plan on doing. So all I got to do is get my name on the ballot. The rest is up to you. I get my name on the ballot. Trust and believe. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure everybody in the state knows about me, to increase my opportunity and possibility of me winning that election. But I can only do that if I'm on the ballot. So bet on me. As Yeshua said, make sure that you are contributing to give me an opportunity to be on the ballot so I can get rid of Gavin Newsom right here. Gruesome Newsom. And if you want to help with that effort, head on over to recallgavin2020.com, print out that petition, sign it as soon as you can, and send that in, okay? The deadline for the petition drive is November 17th. We need 1.5 million. I think we're over the million mark. We're waiting to hopefully get all the rest that we need in this final push over the next few weeks. And as I said, Gruesome Newsom just got found guilty for abusing his powers, abuse of authority with his mandates. So that should make it even easier to let people know he is not acting lawfully as governor of California. So let's get his ass out of office now. Also, be sure to join WeHaveRights.org. It's a nonprofit organization that I'm working with, and a grassroots organization. And with me being a grassroots candidate, it's kind of hard to find different organizations such as theirs that's actually welcoming to somebody like me that's anti-establishment. So I definitely am happy to work with any organization out there that's willing to advance liberty, whether you are on the right or on the left. If you're willing to work with me to make sure that our elected officials are being held accountable, like Yes California, I'm also working with Yes California, pushing to secede from the United States of America. And I will soon be circulating their petition to do exactly that. So whether you're pissed off that Trump has won the election or you're pissed off that he has lost the election, and now we got to deal with Joe Biden, be sure to sign that secession petition, which is now circulating from Yes California. And I'm pretty sure We Have Rights will be a part of that once I speak with them a bit more about why we definitely should be supportive of that. But definitely get involved with them if you want to help advance liberty in the state of California, okay? So with that all said, you guys, I truly appreciate you again for being right here on the black side of liberty, for coming and talking to me every time that you did. I see I've been talking now for, 2 hours straight? So for all of you people that had a short attention span that may have fallen off early, but then picked up later on down the line to watch this, I truly appreciate your time and attention, as well as all of you that sat through this entire time talking to me. You know, all of the comments from Yeshua and Jack B, Hard Body Training, Resolute TV. Got a lot of comments here. A lot of people dropping comments and questions on me. Eric Sharp, William Amlong Bay. Even, what's that guy's name? Hold on. Krista Wildstar had her in the house. Yeah. Weed the People. Got my man Howard Love who dropped through. Yeah. Alienated. Yeah. What was the one guy that had even dropped me to hate? The troll that dropped through. Yeah. Even the trolls that come through and, and had to hate on me a little bit. I appreciate you for watching and talking to me too. So whether you hate me or love me, like I said, I'm out here doing this for you. And we want to get our government back to being one that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. And that's why I'm running for governor of California. So I would definitely appreciate all your support and helping me in that effort. So till next time, guys, long live liberty. I'm about this bitch, y'all. And take care until next time. Love you. Peace.